Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel. Thanks for joining us for another video. There's plenty of Manchester United chat to get into today, so make sure you get involved with your own opinions in the chat, and we'll try and discuss some of your comments throughout today's video. But how are you feeling now, especially after that news of Erik ten Hag?
Well, to be honest, I could do with some advice there on some remedies to get me asleep. A horrendous night's sleep last night, and I've got to be honest, I was dreaming about dragons. Absolute madness, yeah. I was just dreaming about dragons. I don't know whether it was the news, getting things off my chest yesterday or anything, the running around I was doing, but I'm having horrendous sleeps. But dreaming about dragons, I mean, that's the pits, that's the end for me.
I take it you're looking forward to watching the House of Dragons, the new series. You've been watching that then?
I've always watched it, but no, things are looking up from United's point of view, but my sleep patterns are just getting worse. I think it's just the stress, to be honest with you, of what's going on.
Yeah, we have got like 2 or 3 comments. What we had a look at on our YouTube channel on yesterday's video, what we want to discuss with you later on. As you know, we always check the comments, love interacting with you, but we'll get into them comments, what we've got later on in the video. But we did have a discussion today about basically breaking the cycle here with managers at Manchester United. Do you think we actually can get that with Erik ten Hag, where he actually finishes that 3rd season?
I think breaking the cycle, how we've got there with Erik ten Hag, with obviously discussions about a further contract, whichever way you look at it, he has broken the cycle. 3 years, no manager since Ferguson's left has accomplished that. Yes, there is doubt of how he got it. Has he got it by luck, or has he got it by like winning the FA Cup? You know, it's opinions, we don't know, but he's there. The cycle is broken, and it's good that it's broken, because if you look at what's gone on...
Not broken just yet, though. He needs to finish that 3rd season as well, compared to previous managers post-Ferguson.
Yeah, you would expect him to finish that 3rd season for the simple reason. When you look back at what's gone on and the people what have been removed in such a short space of time, like Matt Judge, Murto, Richard Arnold, and many other people in the background, you have to be confident that these are the people what are going to work with Erik ten Hag and push Erik ten Hag on. These are the people what have been brought in to take the club forward, to help the manager, no matter who the manager was. They were brought in, and these are supposed to be the right people. So Erik ten Hag has got an advantage here. He has got the right people to work in. We've got Barada at the top, overseeing everything. We've got Jason Wilcox, what's in there. Dan Ashworth, hopefully that'll be sorted soon. But there is other people in place and ready to be put in place inside the club. So I think Erik ten Hag has got every advantage going forward with achieving and breaking the cycle of a manager since Ferguson left, finishing 3 years and going beyond that.
Yeah, Jam United absolutely fed up with journalists and ex-players saying ten Hag can't get a tune out of the likes of Rashford and Sancho. How can you get a tune out of someone who doesn't try a leg? Sell the pair of them. Now, I do want to actually get onto something what I've seen this morning, and it was from Jamie Jackson in The Guardian. I think it was last night, though, he actually done the article, and it was around about the FA Cup final. And in it says Erik ten Hag's willingness to accept Jason Wilcox's tactical suggestion that he uses Bruno Fernandes as a false 9 in Manchester United's FA Cup win against City was a key factor in the Dutchman being retained as manager. Now, I want to know all your thoughts out there on that article, whether you think it's true or not.
I think this is a reporter who's absolutely gutted that he can't continue with the Erik ten Hag out theme, and then sat there. He was thinking, he gets sacked, Erik ten Hag. I can sit here for 3 months and just waffle on about how poor Erik ten Hag was, how poor it is in the background. The new manager comes in, they've got to do this, they've got to do that. My God, this man here, so bitter, he hates United. That's how I see it. That's how I see it, because this is really a story from who? He's on about Jason Wilcox, as if to say, I'm all for Jason Wilcox, but I'm still against Erik ten Hag. That is how it looks. So I did mention yesterday that the media is out there for hate. He's spinning this, but still keeping the narrative of how poor Erik ten Hag is. That's how I read it.
Yeah, straight away, I did actually think to myself, I'm sure there's a lot of stat men out there who can tell us actually how many specific games we've used Bruno in a false 9, but we've used him way before Jason Wilcox coming here to Manchester United. My overall feeling was it was a very pro Jason Wilcox article, but it also made Erik ten Hag look like an absolute fool to me, as though he doesn't know what he's doing as a manager. And let's have it right, you know, we can all sit in and praise Jason Wilcox, what he's done in previous jobs, etc. But he's never been a manager.
I think
Erik ten Hag's won 2 trophies in his first 2 seasons at Manchester United. He will know what to do tactically to set up against Manchester City. Like we did see at the Etihad, it's just that it didn't work on that day.
No, that's right. He goes on about Bruno and Jason Wilcox, and it is all about praising Jason Wilcox. He's not going to praise Erik ten Hag. No matter what Erik ten Hag does this year, if he achieves anything, gets higher than 8th, gets a trophy or gets us in the Champions League, he's not going to praise Erik ten Hag. That's what that article is saying. He's going to praise Jason Wilcox. I don't know where that conversation...
But then still sort of like undermining the manager in the same...
That's exactly what I'm saying. He's going to undermine the manager, that it is not the manager. Any achievement, what comes going forward, will not be because of the manager. It will be because of other people, and the manager is still poor. The narrative's there. He's had the narrative against Erik ten Hag, and he's absolutely gutted, right, that he's not got the sack, because he had a lot of easy writing to do, and now he's going to struggle to get content, and he's just... I don't know where he's got that content.
To be honest with you, though, I don't know, like, obviously, the ins and outs of it, whether Jason Wilcox and Erik ten Hag do have conversations in the build-up to games to see what Erik ten Hag's going to set up like with the starting 11, his tactics, etc. But you would still expect the manager to have the overall say in the tactics and who he's actually starting in his team, not Jason Wilcox.
No, you would expect the manager. He's there being a busy bee, checking things, advising and things like that. But the manager should always have the final say. This is like Jamie Jackson, the reporter, coming out as though he's heard this conversation about Jason Wilcox and Erik ten Hag coming from them. Baffling. But that's the media for you.
Yeah. Anything else on the media? While you're at it.
Listen, I didn't sleep well last night.
I didn't think you were going to start off that strong, to be honest with you.
I'm not going to start ranting. I'm just pointing out the fact there that he's already set his agenda, but that's what you're going to expect from the media now. Whatever ten Hag does isn't what ten Hag has achieved. It's somebody else's achievement. That's the narrative.
Yeah, like I say at the start of the video as well, we did read over some of the comments that were posted on yesterday's video. A lot of positivity, which is always great to see. And most of all, I much appreciate everyone joining us constantly and getting involved in the videos. Now, there was a comment there from John Williams, I think it was, and he said, Ineos backed the manager over Sancho. This will send out a strong message to similar players that no player is bigger than the club, and such behaviour will not be tolerated at all. And he actually agreed with that comment, to be fair.
Well, I think they fully well know what the situation is with Sancho in lots of respects. He's not good enough for the Premier League. It's been a poor buy. He's not going to change the way Jadon Sancho goes around the world. Just seems to be very nonchalant in what he does. The commitment. He's already come out, Jadon Sancho, and he has talked about his love for Borussia Dortmund. So why would you want a player who loves being somewhere else than being at Manchester United? You're being at Manchester United, should love being here. Jadon Sancho clearly does not like that. So at the end of the day, they're not backing the manager over Sancho, even though some people would like that narrative. I think it's just like, Jadon Sancho, you've been put up. There's a price out there for you now. Let's see who comes in for you. And I have said about Jadon Sancho, I don't think you will see anybody come in and bid what Manchester United think they want, whether it's 40 million, 50 million, I'm not too sure. But whatever they've put out there on him, listen, no one coming challenging to bid Man United and try and take Jadon Sancho away from Manchester United when they were chasing him. And I don't see it. I just see the same thing. I think people are quite wise to what Jadon Sancho is.
I've just seen a comment in that Ronaldo was actually bigger than Manchester United, but you know, can you really say that? Because the manager didn't fancy him in the team, really, did he? And Ronaldo knew it.
Well,
face it.
You obviously...
Whether you think it was right or wrong in him dropping him, etc.
You obviously don't know your history of the club and what football's all about. No player, no matter who he is, has ever been bigger than Manchester United. So I don't know where you're coming from with your thinking on that side of it. Ronaldo is a worldwide great player, always has been. But to be bigger than Manchester United, I don't know any player what's been bigger than Manchester United.
Well, great players there at Manchester United, and we've always ended up moving on when they have left
always.
the club. And we have been through a bit of a dark period at the moment in the last few years, but maybe a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel here with Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his team taking over football operations. But let me know what your thoughts are. I'm just going to go on to Lincoln Red as well, who posted a comment on yesterday's video, and he said, "I think patience comes with age. I'm 55, and I remember how Sir Alex Ferguson struggled in his early years. I've backed Erik ten Hag from day one, and I'm glad that he's been given time to build something. This is a long-term project, so sit tight, turn off your Twitter, back the manager, and be patient. This is no quick fix."
No, it's definitely not a quick fix. We know that. It's Manchester United. It's a massive club. But patience, I look at patience and I think to myself, when I was younger, and there's younger people out there, and there's a lot of criticism about younger people not having the patience, but the times are different. I've looked at it a few times, and I've looked at it again recently, and was I any different than what the younger ones was? No, but at the end of the day, when Brian Robson got an injury on the Saturday, that was the news all week. Well, that's not the news all week now. The news just changes every 24 hours. So having patience, it's just the way of the world. People engage in what's going on now, whereas we did engage, but we only had one story. So I don't think there's any difference, and I think the patience is there with a lot of young fans. It's just that they're just bombarded with 24-hour news and people wanting to get things out, and it might sort of skew the way they look at United from other people. Yes, we had the patience. We've still got the patience now. Age, really, they say you get better like wine does.
Yeah. Benicio, hopefully I pronounced that right, my mate, says Garnacho is still young and he isn't world class. He hasn't proved himself yet. Last season, he only got 7 goals. That isn't good enough. He has some flaws, but he will get better.
I don't think you can say that's not good enough. You've said it yourself. It's a young player. He's not world class, and I don't think certainly on here, no one's called him world class. I think he's still got a lot to learn. We know that. He's been very guilty, Garnacho, of not crossing the ball, being selfish. But that's a young player. Ryan Giggs did it. I remember Ronaldo doing it. But they were taught to keep going, keep trying different things, and then one day, hopefully, it clicks with Garnacho. But he's not a great player. He's got a lot of improvement to go forward. Only the same as Manu, only the same as Højlund. Lots of improvement, young players, but we shouldn't be the ones putting pressure on them to start calling them world class, because that is not the right way to go. They've just started their football career and they've come in to a nightmare of a situation at Manchester United where chaos reigns.
We were just talking about the journalists and media before. It just bounced into my head that, I've already seen really in the last 24 hours, the media who are against Manchester United, the ABUs, basically them predicting next season when Ten Hag will be sacked by. Like, I've seen quite a lot saying, he'll be sacked by Christmas, etc. So do you think that's a narrative now they'll try and keep pushing?
Yeah,
where they're predicting when he'll be gone, etc.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to look at whatever's being said and say, well, where's the truth in the story? Is it just them sat there making it up, just like the one we did before? No, the narrative is always going to be hate on Man United. There is an agenda, and I did say yesterday that there's certain Man United fans what have got an agenda. I didn't say United fans in a bad light. It's those with an agenda, and the media has an agenda, and we all know that. We're not blind to it. We're not dumb to it. We know what's coming, and we just have to try and pick out the certain things, what are facts, where you can get the truths. But it's very hard to pull the truth out of what's being said, and the media, they love it, as we all know.
Yeah, remember the comment what we're seeing this morning on the channel? Hater.
What?
I said this channel's sponsored by Malcolm.
Oh, yeah. We talk about...
That's the sort of people you was mentioning yesterday's video, do you know what I mean?
I'll make it... When I mentioned yesterday about United fans hating on Ten Hag and other things, one came out on the channel yesterday, and it's there, and he actually turned round, hated it because we back Erik Ten Hag, okay, being the manager, and because obviously his narrative it didn't fit, he's turned round and he's turned round and accused this channel of being sponsored by Malcolm Glazer. His hate got that bad, right, against the narrative of Erik ten Hag being the manager, he'd forgot Malcolm Glazer is dead, which I did reply, he's dead, with laugh out loud. But that's the narrative, and some of these people are the same as the media because they've got agendas. I'm not hating on United fans who don't disagree, who don't agree with Erik ten Hag being the manager. We've all got opinions and we're entitled to the opinions. It's the hate, and that clearly was the hate coming at this channel because we have backed the decision that Erik ten Hag stays. But hey, it's the way of the world.
I don't know what I'm more shocked about, the comment or you just actually admitting that you've actually got the password, the numbers to get into the account and to reply to people, which I didn't actually know until now. So you've let that slip out of the box as well. But I'm just going to go back into the chat. That where was it now? It was a great comment, to be fair. Just like makes you think sometimes with the comments, you know, where people are actually joining us from around the world and the love that they've still got for Manchester United. And it's unrivaled with any football club. And he said, Stephen, Man United fan base is growing big here in Nigeria. I love Man United for life, despite our poor Premiership outing last season. But thank God we won the FA Cup.
Yeah, thank God we did win the FA Cup, and supporting Man United. Once you support your team, you stick with them through thick and thin, simple as. And he clearly is doing that, and he acknowledged that it's a poor season we've had. But I think we all acknowledge that. I watched him. I just want to go back to the manager, and I think to myself, he's in there now, okay? And what we as fans really want and what we hope is that he gets a good working relationship, right, with Jason Wilcox, with the likes of Dan Ashworth. And I did say, like, he's up there at the top, Barada. It's imperative that these get off to a good flyer this summer, working well together. And I think to myself, what are they looking at, right, to push forward? And I think you let me know if you think anything different. I think the most important thing here is getting Carrington, getting that right, getting the people in there. I mean, Arsenal, we've just took a medical, one of their medical teams to Carrington. You know, we've got fitness people there, and that'll be getting moved around. So I think the key to it all is Carrington and getting the right atmosphere and the people in there. And obviously with Jason Wilcox and Dan Ashworth there, working with Erik ten Hag, that has to be spot on. Going forward, that working relationship has to work well. So that's what I'm looking, and I think it's key going forward next year.
It's just flicked up there. Just give us 2 secs. Ant L says, lads, what happens if Erik ten Hag refuses to agree a new contract? I would not turn down £9 million a year, and I don't think Erik ten Hag will either. You'd be absolutely mad. That's my first response and first thoughts to it anyway.
Well, if he turns down a new contract, then he's out, isn't he? You know, but that situation's not there. I mean, okay, I get the question. I understand why it's asked, but it's not a situation what's going to come. Why would Erik ten Hag turn down a new contract? He is stuck through thick and thin, and he wants success at Manchester United. So at the end of the day, he always had that option to be put for another year anyway. So I don't think he's worried. He just wants to be it, and he wants to achieve with United. He's not going to turn a new contract down.
A lot of people, we've discussed it before, not really gone in depth on it, but, you know, his actual job role here at Manchester United, people are saying now under Sir Jim Ratcliffe that it's going to be limited in certain areas, i.e. transfers. He won't have the overall say. But do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Where he can, for me, you know, they want a head coach, the players on the training pitch, you know, we need to see better football next season, in my opinion. So let him just concentrate on that. Let the suits do all the transfer negotiations, picking out players.
How it works, right? I don't think Erik ten Hag is worried about how that is going to work on transfers and everything like that. You have to go back from February onwards on how Erik ten Hag spoke in his press conferences. He has always maintained that he's got a good working relationship with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, okay? And that with Ineos, they're working on the summer plans, on the transfers and everything like that. So no matter how it looks that Erik ten Hag might not have the final say, or he might be in charge with the final say, it doesn't matter to Erik ten Hag. He's comfortable in the role because he's been working on the role on what's happening in the summer. So I don't think anything has changed since they were looking at new other managers, and now they've kept Erik ten Hag on. I think the relationship was already there going forward, working on the summer, working on everything, and it was already agreed months ago on how they would work going forward. So I don't see any problems working with Jason Wilcox, Dan Ashworth, Barada, and anyone else what Ineos bring in. I think everything has been sorted going forward. I think it's all the other people what were spoken to, what Ineos was speaking to regarding let's see if they're good enough as managers. I think it's them what have turned it down and gone like that. I ain't having this, no way. But Ten Hag is comfortable, he's a winner, and he's happy to go along with what's there because he feels that he is not being undermined, and that is critical. So long as he feels that he's not being undermined in what's going on in and around the club, that's fine for me.
Frogman in the chat says, what about his assistants? Why are they not getting a mention and carrying some of the burden for last season? And to be fair, I've been guilty of that as well, to be honest, where you just really, it's on the manager's shoulders, do you know what I mean? Who's taking the responsibility? Benny McCarthy as well, is he staying? Is he going to be given a new contract, or is he leaving in the summer as well?
Well, listen, blaming people, I mean, we'd be on here for 5 hours. 5 hours doing a video going on about blaming this person. You can't blame everyone else, okay? Because the blame ends up, and as everyone says, the buck stops with the manager. He takes it no matter what. And Erik ten Hag takes it. There's no point going on about a coach. I don't know what he does on a daily basis, a coach or that person, because at the end of the day, they all report to the manager and he takes responsibility. You talk about Benny McCarthy there. Listen, his contract's running up, obviously. There's been no talks about it, or it would have been released. We've heard about players being released, other people being released, people coming in. Yeah. Benny McCarthy, once your contract runs out, looks like he's on his way. Someone else might be in mind, Ineos. Sir Jim Ratcliffe might be bringing other people in. Well, if they're bringing other people in, Ten Hag would have already known, if the case is that Benny McCarthy goes, that someone else is being brought in. He's comfortable with it, and that's what you want, and that's what you hope, really.
Yeah, it'd be good to know, though, like, you know, Van der Gag, Steve McLaren, how much actual input on the training ground they actually do have, though, and whether Erik ten Hag actually does take that on board, though, as well.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know how they communicate.
Or is it Erik ten Hag who's the one who's giving the instructions, and they just follow his instructions, kind of thing?
I mean, listen, it'd be nice to know certain things like that. I agree with you, but at the end of the day, we're not going to get all that, and I don't think it's really right that little things, everything what goes on, we should know. They should just get on with the job, and really, Erik ten Hag's put them in the job, get it done, and that's all we hope for.
With you saying about there's certain things that we shouldn't know, I have seen a lot across social media, not loads, but just a few, saying that they need to know the ins and outs of the actual review, the end of season review, and as to why it then ended up keeping Ten Hag in the job. Do you think as fans we should know the details of that?
Listen, there was people ranting, right? Absolutely ranting, saying, we demand to know everything what's been said and done in that review. A Man United fan demanding to know what the club is, what has done and what's been said in the review. I mean, what kind of chip on your shoulder have you got to demand to know everything what's being said, okay, by the organisation, the people running this? They've got enough problems without worrying about pampering to someone who's got a chip on the shoulder. And there's many people out there got a chip on the shoulder demanding. You don't demand. What you expect is a level of interaction between the club, putting out reports and reports coming out and us reading it and just going, right, there you go. And we have to dissect it and look at it, and we look at it in different ways. But for people to demand to know what's been said and done in the review, the end of season review, my God, that's some delusional chip on the shoulder.
Yeah, actually.
But that's my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Just like to thank everyone for getting involved in the chat today. It's been absolutely banging. A lot of good comments in there as usual. If you want to carry on the conversation, that'd be great. Get involved in the comment section down below. If you want to support the channel as well, just leave a like on it. It's much appreciated. And yesterday's video, just like to thank everyone who smashed that like button. A huge amount of likes on that video, so it's much appreciated.
Brilliant.
We'll be back tomorrow with another Man United chat, so get that notification on, and we'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day and take care, everyone. See you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.